The legendary head coach Pat Riley once said, if you're not getting better, you're getting worse. And in terms of Bittensor, if you're a subnet owner, a miner, that holds to be very true. And I think Bittensor is the epitome of AI, which in this context stands for always improving. So let me dig deeper and tell you a little about this concept. My name's Jeremy, aka School Crypto, and I'm bringing you another Bittensor video. So I wanted to look into a few subnets that have exceeded benchmarks, have continued to improve, and the reason for their success is just continuing to develop and be able to churn out a better product, a better digital asset, better commodity that's one day going to be monetizable, or it is right now. So to start out with, you have Ridges, which is a subnet that I've spoken about at length, and it's a software coding agent that basically has its subnet create code to develop software or apps or some sort of type of code in order to solve certain problems. So there was a tweet that Const had just the other day that basically said that the subnet is basically improving against direct real world usage and not against benchmarks. So this coding agent is smart enough to identify these issues that it's having or some problems and being able to code just basically without any sort of tasks, you know? So like it's a continually improving agent that's going beyond the benchmarks and improving by itself, which is super exciting. So that's the first one. The second one are a couple of is a pre-training model. So IOTA basically has a pre-training subnet that develops LLMs and basically puts in a lot of compute in order to create like a foundational structure for a large language model. So they had a tweet the other week saying that they lowered its loss function from 9.5 to 4.28. And basically what that means is when you lower the loss function, you're improving the model's accuracy and its performance. So to go basically a little bit more than down 50% from where they started is a huge accomplishment. And they attribute this to all the compute that's being delivered by the miners themselves, and then the architecture that the company behind IOTA, Macrocosmos, is developing. So they've been able to improve based on that architecture, based on the miners, and then lowering that loss function to make it a lot more of an accurate LLM. And then you have the second pre-training LLM subnet, that's Templar, and basically they've trained the world's largest decentralized LLM of all time, and it's beaten the benchmarks of Meta's Llama and K2 with a lot less tokens used. So I've gone into depth about this topic between Covenant AI, Grail, and Basilica, the other two subnets that work in that kind of holy trinity of decentralized AI training. But what they've been able to accomplish is pretty unprecedented. So, and they're just continually improving day by day. And so that's pretty amazing. And then you have the Gradient subnet, which is an automated machine learning subnet, which basically allows non-technical people in order to automate certain systems via machine learning. So they don't need to really know much code. They can use this type of platform and then automate their processes through their services. So they had a report the other week basically saying they outperformed household names like Hugging Face, Together AI, Databricks, Google Cloud, Civic. So these are big dogs. These are big dogs who have a lot of resources and funding, and they're outperforming these guys with their services. And not to mention, they're doing it at a 10 to 40% cheaper clip. So that's just incredibly amazing, and just like the rate of improvement that they've seen is quite amazing. So that's another use case. And you have Shoots, which is the number one subnet, that's the number one provider of open source inference on Open Router, which is the service that a lot of people use in order to tap into these decentralized models. So, they've gone through trillions and trillions of tokens, and they can provide 60 plus open source models. They're the first ones to put it on their platform before anybody else. So just in terms of the speed, the service, and then just the product that they provide, the inference that they're delivering is second to none. So it's just that when I hear the saying, if you're not getting better, you're getting worse, it really just lights a fire under me in understanding how these subnets really have to continually improve, because if they don't, then they're gonna be left in the dust by the centralized competitors. And there is no other choice. There is no other option in terms of what they need to do in order to differentiate themselves. So, like I said before, yes, AI stands for artificial intelligence, but in this respect, Bittensor is AI always improving. So you always have to improve in order to maintain your emissions that you're getting as the subnet. You need to always improve in order to be a miner on the subnet, because if you're not improving, your emissions are going to go down, and then if your emissions go down, then you could easily be deregistered, and then you won't have a subnet anymore. And then if you're not producing good work as a miner, then you're not going to be able to get those emissions and those rewards. So if you're a part of this ecosystem, and then if you're a validator, right, if you're not validating correctly and you're not doing a good job there, then you're going to be out of a job too. So there is no other option other than always improving in Bittensor. So that's kind of like a key thing in my opinion, and it really lights a fire under everybody to really be able to step up their game every single day, not be complacent, and to be able to continually improve. So yeah, that's kind of my little shtick of the day on Bittensor. And what do you guys think? Do you think that all these subnets and miners are going to continually improve? Do you think that it's going to put Bittensor to another level? Or do you think that these centralized guys are just too many resources, too much money, too much power that, there's no way that they'll be able to get ahead of them? Definitely let me know in the comments down below. If you like this content, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and hope you had a happy Thanksgiving. I look forward to talking to you guys soon. Take care.